So if you're deciding to build a dashboard, maybe you've been searching the internet to find out information about when and how to build one, you might have seen a lot of sort of doom and gloom articles about how dashboards are totally last season, nobody should ever use them, and you should just do something else entirely. And in some cases that's true. And it's kind of weird for me to say that because I literally make videos about building dashboards all day long. But when it comes down to it, there are certain situations where dashboards aren't going to be the right answer for whatever you're trying to do. First, let me just tell you what I think dashboards are good for. If you've got a bunch of leading indicators, key performance indicators, whatever you want to call them for your business across a bunch of different sources, and you want to sum them up in one place, a dashboard's a good way to do it. Or if you've got a lot of non-technical users who just need some surface level metrics to help them make their decisions every day, it can be a good option for them. If you have people in your org who want to start doing ad hoc analysis, you really want to start trying to dig in and figure things out, dashboards are not the place to do that, and it really kind of goes against a lot of the principles of doing good analysis. That kind of like deeper exploratory stuff is not really what dashboards are for, and answering those kinds of questions requires a much higher level of knowledge about the underlying data, how it's being pulled, how it's being filtered, all of that kind of stuff. And most people don't have that when they're looking at their data through the lens of a dashboard. I think another thing that they're not so great for is anything that could just be an alert. So if you're just looking at a dashboard to see, hey, if a metric is a little higher or lower than usual, and then you're going to go dig in and figure out what's going on, a lot of times you don't really need a dashboard for that. You can just set up an alert somewhere in your organization that comes through automatically if a metric is higher or lower than a certain threshold. There's obviously a lot more nuance that can go into making this decision, but just as a basic starting point, I think that can be really helpful for people. The biggest pitfall with dashboards is people getting in there and using it to try to explore data and answer super specific questions. That rarely is what a dashboard's for. A dashboard is going to actually create more questions than it's going to answer, but it's going to help you figure out where there are questions that need to be answered. And when you go and try to answer those questions, you're not doing it through a dashboard. You're probably doing it by a much deeper dive into a very narrow, specific area of your data that requires somebody with a little bit more technical expertise or a little more domain expertise about that particular area of the data. All right, I hope that helps everyone. Just some guiding principles to get you started because I get so many questions about this. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to dig into. Happy to answer more questions as we go. I hope this was helpful for folks that are just trying to answer that question of whether or not a dashboard's the right option for them. All right, have a good one. Bye.